Okay, I see the importance to talk about this knife song. I've always liked it, really liked it. Um, but yeah, there was always something a little bit off about it because I you look back at the singer and I didn't recognize any other songs, but in that song particularly, I love that song. She does look like Nelly Furtado. Furtado, I don't know, I can't spell it. I can't even say it right. But yeah, I haven't seen Nelly Furtado songs for a long time, so um, but yeah, I like this song, and then I'm looking back at the other songs, and I feel like I'm trying to connect with the singer, and I feel like I, I am getting a connection, but it's not the same type of connection that I had with some of them. Some of them I feel like I've done a list. I tried to do a list where I was trying to work out which ones were Martin's Kids versus newer ones that just come later on and gotten stronger, and I've sort of rewarded them by giving them songs if they choose to be if they choose to like songs and stuff. But yeah, I always try to think about like how my first timeline was, and I got one image of believing that when this Christ that I was on, this planet that I was on, she, came up on TV, and I kind of instantly believed, and I just thought, wow, this is the solution. I don't think the timeline was very complicated. I don't think it was very big. Um, but yeah, there is that song. She reminds me of not, I can't remember when I'm in this vision. I can't really see what I'm looking at, but I feel like there's a sense of the same sense that I get from seeing Nelly Furtado's videos, or or this girl, this knife song. I don't know. There's a sense of maturity, a sense of I want to be a god, a sense of respect, a sense of it's a very different type of a lot of the if I was to describe what a god was, I would guess I would go for the Jessica, no, Jessica Simpson. I've not been watching her, so I don't know her name, but I would go for the Sisterhood girls, and I'd say like that's what a god would be. But I feel like if I'm trying to think about the god that made me, I do feel like a sort of a different vibe. I feel like she was very different, a bit more mature, sexy, but also sophisticated, like a little bit more like that. And I feel like how I feel with this song, I get a similar kind of vibe to what I believe the God that made me. The problem is about being sophisticated and stuff like that is you might not have as much love for music, and I don't think that the God that made me did have that much love for music. I mean, she might have done, but I feel like she did many, but not that many. I mean, if she died when I was 6, I mean, I'm guessing that because Madonna's mum died when she was 6, so I feel like that's the number that I've connected to. But yeah, I think she was only on her third timeline or something. Like the timeline that I was born on, I think was very small and wasn't like that impressive. Like when I tried to remember things, that's actually what the voice says. It's not worth it. Like the timeline that I was brought up on was not very impressive, not very good, and yeah, she was a god on the planet that I was first born on, and I feel like that's how I came to be. Um, Her parents, I don't think she had much of an interest in her parents actually. That's just what I'm getting. I do feel like the fish image is coming in. You know how fish they give birth to kids and then don't eat them. My fish, my guppies, when if you don't separate the babies from the mother, they'll just eat their babies. And actually, I'm reminding of that orange one. There was an orange one after she had babies. Um, she actually made a hunt for her I knew she was the one who gave birth to them, and yet she actually was far more interested in eating the babies than all the others. All the others were just kind of like, oh, I'll just leave it. Whereas that one was kind of chasing the orange babies far more. And I did notice that there was another birth of orange babies. I haven't seen them in 2 weeks, so I've got a feeling that. I mean, I don't know. I haven't really looked, but there was some orange babies in there. Maybe I should do another check, but because they're very good at hiding the orange ones. But yeah, I don't know. But I feel like fish, they eat their babies and they don't really care. And I feel like that's how it was for my mother, the one that made me, the God that made me. And it's not how I feel about you because I think it's because I actually have a far better passion for music and stuff. And yeah, so I feel like that's what I feel like. I feel like that her was more about just kind of learning and getting smarter, whereas for me, it's more about entertainment. You know, I get the image of the beast sort of showing Belle like all those books, and me just being like, I hate books. But if it was the other way around, and if the beast would have shown Belle like a library full of DVDs, and I would have been so happy about this. And I feel like with the that image from the knife one, if the beast was to show her a bunch of books, she might be like, okay, yeah, that's interesting. But at the same time, still getting bored, or I'm bored of reading, and I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like things change over times, and they everything gets smarter and stuff. And I feel like yeah, that's all I can remember. But I don't think she's alive, and there's a lot of things about in that song about there being not being here enough and stuff. But yeah, that's all I'll say.